So if we are going to draw a frequency histogram, we have seen the column graphs, all right, being presented something like this, right? Previously. That's the column graph. What about if we are talking about a histogram? Instead of it being separated, we don't have any gaps, we tend to join it up. That is a frequency histogram. So to draw a frequency histogram, remember the table that you have copied just now, we go based on that particular table. Okay, so you have your y-axis and of course your x-axis here given to you, right? So we'll start with 0 to 1. So if we just leave some space here, right? Let's see. 0. So if I'm going to start with 0, yep, you can start from here. 0 to 1, then 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to 5. Okay? Oops, this is not your y, this is your x. This is your y. Y would be your frequency in terms of the scale. X would be your weight. And the weight, you must have a unit which is in kilogram. Okay? Now let's count. In terms of the class interval we have from 0 to less than 1, what's the frequency? What's the frequency? 2. So we put here, alright, we'll have to draw the scale for the y-axis as well. We start from 0. The highest we have here so far is 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Alright, something roughly like this in your book. Please make sure when you draw this out, you draw it a little bit neater as compared to mine because I don't have any squares. Alright, so 0 to less than 1, the class interval has a frequency of 2. So we draw until here. And then 1 to less than 2 will be 6. So we draw until this much for 6. 2 to less than 3 is 4. And 3 to less than 4 is 4 as well. So we draw 4 across. And of course 4 to less than 5 is 1. Okay, so this is how a histogram will actually look. Alright, make sure you have all these sections joined. If you look at the class interval, oh my god, what am I talking about? Class interval, sorry, class interval. When you look at the class interval, the last number would be less than 2 or less than 3. And the reason is because, if we have a look here, it is continuous. If we have a number which is 1, for example, right, 1 kilogram. If I have my class interval as 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, how am I going to categorize that particular 1 kilogram? Alright, so the reason why I put less than 1, think about it, is 0.99 less than 1. If 0.99 is less than 1, that is the particular class interval over there. Alright, and that's how you sort out the continuous data into that particular class interval. Is that clear, everyone? Okay, so you have drawn a frequency histogram for this. Okay, there is another word that you have to learn. That is what we call the model class. Does anyone here know what's the model class? Yes.
Is that the class that has the most frequency?
Yep, that's absolutely true. The class model is actually the class interval which has the highest frequency. So in this case, if you refer to your table, 1 to less than 2 kilograms would be the class interval which has the most frequency, that is 6. Okay, so that should be a clue. The model class is the most frequent class that you will see. Okay, now as usual, we'll go on to part D. Alright, we are going to describe the distribution of the data. Okay, so now if you want to describe the distribution of the data, what do we have to do here? You're going to draw the line, yeah? So we start from here, we draw the line on top, and then we go flat, and it comes down. How do we describe this particular data which has been distributed? What do you think it is? Remember the terms that we used that day? Skewing, Is this a positive skew or a negative skew?
Positive.
It's a positive skew, it's not a negative skew. The reason is because if we look towards the end here, all right, it is skewed towards the right. There's a little tail that is actually ending to the right hand side. So therefore we say this is a positive skew. And think about it. If you have a skewing which is towards the right hand side, and if you look at the number line, if you go towards the right, it's a positive skewing. If you go towards the left, it's a negative skewing, all right? The more you go to the right, it's positive. The more you go to the left, it's getting negative. Okay? Any questions on this particular chapter? No? Okay. So if that is the case, that's all I have for today's lesson. So we'll just end the recording.